Alright, so I got a lot of response off the last video of people wanting to know if I called the police on the guy writing in. No, I did not, nor am I going to. Now, I know that's the knee-jerk reaction to this type of thing. Oh, gotta call the police. But if thought crime were a thing, we'd all be in trouble. You can call me old school, but I believe that people are responsible for their actions. The thoughts are questionable, because I know that spirits and skilled practitioners are really good at being able to put thoughts and feelings into your head and getting you to believe that they're your own, when they're not. The only action that this individual actually took was asking for help and advice. And once I start calling the police on people asking me for help and advice, people are going to stop asking me for help and advice. I had one guy leave a few comments and messages. This is his edited down, condensed version, where he's wanting to argue with me that I'm underestimating sociopaths and that these type of charismatic killers aren't in scarcity. Well, yes, they are in scarcity. They're just really good at hiding it. They're still wanting to take something that doesn't belong to them, that isn't theirs, namely the life of another person. So yes, they are in scarcity. And no, I'm not underestimating the sociopath. You are overestimating this individual, because what you're talking about has absolutely nothing at all to do with this person. This person is not a Ted Bundy. He is not a Charles Manson. He is not a charismatic person. Know how I know? Because he said so. He said he was envious of the beautiful people, and he was having trouble getting laid. None of the pretty girls wanted anything to do with him. These are not the words of a charismatic sociopath. This is not a Ted Bundy. This is not a Charles Manson. You and others have asked, why do these people come to me for advice? Well, number one, because I listen. I hear what they're actually saying. I mean, that's step number one. And number two is because I've been there. Now, I didn't really have thoughts of raping and murdering, but I had hit rock bottom for me. And I've said it before that those who are consumed by the darkness and can emerge from it become beacons of light for those who are still in the darkness. And so people ask, why do I keep attracting these type of people? And the answer is, it's a big part of my calling. I attract the hopeless because I remember what it's like to be hopeless. They know that this guy was where they are now, but made it out. The past hopelessness that I had is what led me to get into magic. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing now here on YouTube. It's why I'm teaching you. It doesn't matter to me if you're trying to manifest a Caribbean vacation or a new car. Those things are great and all, and I will congratulate you for doing so. But that doesn't compare to someone who absolutely hates themselves, hates their life, and has no clue on how to fix it. That's what I care about. That is my calling. At least a large part of it. And I also often get accused of lying, faking messages. Look, I get so many messages, I don't have to fake them. I got anything and everything filling my inbox each day. I blur the names out for their privacy. Because the one time I didn't do it, the one time I thought, well, I probably don't need to blur the names out, they all freaked out and wrote me on how horrified they were to see their name in the video. So I've been back to blurring the names out ever since. I can tell you that part of the name of the individual who wrote in on the last video was Twisted, which is why the video was named A Twisted Plea. Much as part of the name of the individual who wrote in for a Fool's Curse video was Fool. So yes, these are real people that are writing in. But you're going to believe what you want to believe. There's nothing really that I'm going to be able to do or say that's going to prove that to you and keep the privacy of those writing in. All I can tell you is that I have Mercury in Sagittarius, for those of you who know astrology. So I figured now would be a good time to talk about this particular planet placement. It's why I'm doing well at what I do here on YouTube, because it's the planet of communication in the sign of teaching and higher learning. But it's not just a sign of teaching and higher learning. It's also the sign of truth. And we've had a video on the Gemini deception and how the sign of Gemini is related to deception. Well, Sagittarius is the polar opposite to Gemini. What's it like having the planet of communication in the sign of truth? Well, we really hate the lie. And you would think that that's a good thing. But Mercury is in its detriment in Sagittarius. Why? Because as Jack Nicholson said in A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. You'll eventually learn that people don't want the truth. They only want what they want to hear. And that's a problem for people who have this placement, the Mercury in Sagittarius. Because not only are we compelled to tell the truth, but we're known to do so bluntly. Does this dress make me look fat? No, your body does. Needless to say, I'm really not the person to come to when you want to be comforted, but only when you want real answers. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm immune to making mistakes. We all do, but I'm not going to purposely lie to you on anything. But Mercury is in its detriment in Sagittarius because people just don't want the truth. Other characteristics of this planet placement is that Mercury and Sagittarius are big picture people. We want all the pieces to fill in the puzzle to get the big picture. And that's what I've been teaching here on this channel too, is an overall big picture of the occult and magic. The downside to this placement is we can miss out on some of the smaller details. So we're big picture focused instead of small detail focus, as a Mercury in Virgo would be. Mercury in Sagittarius is very blunt and to the point, as I've said. We can get impatient if others aren't as well. And I've said before, if you're writing like 4 or 5 paragraphs in your whole life story just to ask a simple question, there's a pretty good chance that I'm not going to get to it. Areas of interest and study for Mercury in Sagittarius include philosophy, religion, psychology, and foreign cultures. Anything to do with these and teaching would be a good career choice, or anything to do with travel. So that's the basics of Mercury in Sagittarius. The more you're able to understand this planetary placement, the more you'll understand why I can take an accusation from someone and turn it into a full video lesson. We, the Mercury and Sagittarians of the world, want to teach you. We want to give you the big picture. Now, we may not consider your feelings when we do so. We may be very blunt about it. You may not like what you hear. But we have a need to communicate the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. Take care. If you enjoyed this video, here's another Mystery School lesson you may have missed. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more weekly content to help expand your knowledge. Thanks for all the love and support, and I'll see you next time. Take care.